Let's start with our midseason kind of All-American team. At this point, I think we would both agree, and we have agreed, Zach Edey is our
Yes.
National Player of the Year still at
Yep.
this point, so he'd be on the All-American list. After that, it's going to be interesting. I
You could
think
go you could go a number of ways for sure.
yeah.
You
All
definitely
right,
can.
so give me your the next guy that you felt really good about that has to be on this list.
It was mine for me was Jalen Wilson.
Yeah, me too.
I
Me
think
too.
that he's a lock for the way he's played. He's become super aggressive because he's had to be with everybody they've lost. He hasn't shot like an amazing percentage, but I mean he's shooting plenty of tough ones. I think that he's a no-brainer for it.
Yeah, I would agree. The other one that I think probably needs to be on there, Rob, the only freshman, is Brandon Miller.
Yeah, he could be. But I think that you could also make a case for other guys over Brandon Miller.
I agree. He would be my third guy. He would be my third guy only because I think he's carried that Alabama team. And again, part is I think because so many freshmen have struggled so far out of the gates, it makes what he's done that much more impressive because now he's an older freshman. He is an older freshman, which probably helps him a little bit, but he's been terrific. And to me, he's had excuse me, huge games for Alabama when they've needed him.
Yeah. I mean, he was amazing against Gonzaga. I went Drew Timme. I think the last 4 games, he's been unbelievable. Since who was it against Baylor, he struggled. I think he only had 9 points. In the last 4, he's been around 26, 27 a game. He's had a really good season. Maybe not Tolu Smith good.
Not Tolu Smith.
But pretty good. No, I think Drew Timme's been really good. I think he's deserving of that.
Yeah, my next one would be Azuolas Tubelis from Arizona. And it's so hard picking between him and Umar Ballo because they've both been awesome and they've been the best frontline duo in the country. I think Zeus has been more consistent for me. And the experience and the toughness and all that. But again, I think the only one when we're coming out of this thing that we're going to agree on that was like a lock, no-brainer is Zach Edey.
Agreed. I think everybody else you could make a case for someone. Even if you look at like the top 10 for the Ken Palm Player of the Year stuff, I think that you could probably make a case for almost every guy. Maybe not. I mean, Jalen Pickett has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's what, 5th now on the Ken Palm top 10.
Yep.
But I think, winning certainly gets taken into account. And Penn State has won. They've had a really nice start to their year. But when you talk about
surprise the hell out of you.
What's that?
I'm going to surprise the hell out of you with my last guy.
I've got to give my 4th first before you do that. I'm going to say I went with Jaime Jaquez, honestly. I think just their team has been good, and
he wasn't great. When I saw him in Vegas, I can't put him on there because he wasn't great in those 2 games in Vegas. Which
he was great against Maryland. He was great against Kentucky.
He's been great lately. Yeah. But in their 2 losses, he was honestly underwhelming. And it's hard. This. It's hard to get that out of your head when you see a team or a guy in person.
Yeah, it's like a bad first impression, right?
Correct. So now, again, he's been around forever. All right, my 5th guy, really hard. You have to find a point guard to me. Like, I just feel like I got Edey, I got Tubelis, I got Jalen Wilson, I got Brandon Miller.
You're not down with going with just the 5 bigs?
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I think I did it in the preseason, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But the point guard I'm going with, and part of this is because I didn't want to double up. And I have a surprise player because that's one of our categories coming up. So I don't want to double up on this guy. I'm going with maybe the best defender in the country in my 5th spot.
I think I know you're going with. And he
doesn't play the point. He doesn't play the point on his team all the time.
Is he on the West Coast?
No, he's on the East Coast.
Never mind.
I'm going with Reese Beekman.
Wow.
I think he's the best defender in the country.
But he hasn't been the same since he hurt.
He's been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt the last couple games. He
hasn't moved like he was out in Vegas, where you could tell.
Correct.
I mean, he was as explosive as can be. Right. And now he's a little hobble. Hopefully he can over the holidays.
I just didn't know who to go with. You couldn't go with Matt. Go ahead. Give me a better one.
Well, I was thinking Sasser, but his percentages are not like all American.
And he's been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt too.
Banged up. Yeah. I mean, do you go with a guy from Connecticut, which would be Sonogo? I mean, they're undefeated. Like winning matter.
You could.
I think Tubelis is a great pick. That was my 5th.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard, especially because I didn't go with any guards, but I don't think that there's really any guards that are. So I mean, Marcus Sasser is having a good season.
You know who you could do? You know who you could easily put on there? Here's honestly, this is who I probably should have put on. And I thought about it with Beekman is Adam Flagler. Flagler's like he has shot the hell out of it.
Yeah, and Baylor's kind of flying under the radar right now just because of the fact that they've lost some games, and in the last 2 years they just didn't do that.
Right.
So yeah, he has had a really good season. And it's crazy. The guards, I mean,
we knew this coming in though.
No, I know we did.
We said this, and it's come to fruition of everything we've said about the guards.